Live here in Palm Springs for Game 2 of our doubleheader today. Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda as we're ready to go here for Game 2 of baseball in the California Winter League. First pitch of the ball game is running inside and it hits Alex Littman to start things off. So the first pitch of the game, we already have a runner aboard. This game will feature the Oregon Lumberjacks and the Alberta Grizzly. The Grizzly coming to this one with a 4-3 record, and the Lumberjacks with a 4-4 record. As Christian Busby will now dig in here, top of the first. Grizzly are the visitors, Lumberjacks are the home team. Kevin Roberts is the starter for the Lumberjacks as he deals ball one here to Christian Busby.
Christian Busby coming in 286. Apologies. He has 2 hits, both of them being doubles, 3 RBIs. Hit by pitch once, reached on an error, 4 walks, fielder's choice, and a strikeout.
There's a ball, 2 balls, and no strikes to Busby. Littman leading off, being hit by the pitch. Lumberjacks are coming off a win their last game against the Canada A's. That was yesterday on Monday in the early morning game. Pitch is in there for a strike. So first strike of the ball game thrown by Kevin Roberts, the righty who works from the stretch. Last time around, the Grizzly playing on Sunday, so they had a day off yesterday. And they would win that one in the walk-off thriller. Beating the Bombers 7-6 was the score in that ball game. 3 balls and a strike is the count here to Busby, who hits with nobody out here in the top of the first.
And what a game that was. The day before, they were walked off by the A's, and the second win for the A's.
3 ball, 1 strike pitch in there for a strike. It'll be a full count.
Grizzly and Lumberjack come in with a 4-3 record for the Alberta Grizzly and 4-4 for the Jacks. So a win here would put the Grizzlies at 5-3, tied at a 3-way tie between the Bombers and Power, who are currently leading 5-3. The Jacks would be up 5-4 in that 3-way tie.
This pitch is hit into center field. Sinking line drive, and Chris Baker is there to make the routine play for the first out on the fly ball.
Good piece of hitting, but Baker hit right at him. Nothing much you can do about that. Hit it right on the screws.
So that'll bring up Anthony McDougall. He is still hitless here in the California Winter League. As long as I'm looking at the correct stats, we have about 8 different sets of stats, it feels like, at this point, as this pitch is in there for a strike.
I'll have to compare with mine, as his name is still yet to come up on my records here.
No balls and a strike. Roberts hitting Alex Littman on the first pitch of the ball game. He's at first. Now he's going to try to steal second. Throw down is not going to be in time. Mendoza is behind the plate for the Lumberjacks. But Littman with a great jump there and no shot to get him at second.
So you would be correct in your assessment. He has no hits. He has 1 RBI on a walk. He's really struggled at the plate. He's only been able to draw that 1 walk. He struck out 9 times. He's been hit by 1 pitch.
Trying to get anything started here with a runner in scoring position. Big swing here and a foul ball. Hitting with the shades on, even though it's not a very bright day today. The cloud coverage. Really no blue in the sky today with the haze in the background. The mountains looking foggy out there.
There was a little bit of sky we saw in Game 1, but Game 1 moving real quickly. Only an hour 45 for 7 innings. But the clouds have made their way in the sky.
Roberts deals a hanging breaking ball. This ball is lifted in the air to center field. Baker is there. He's going to try to get behind it on the throw. Tagging up and going to third as the throw comes in on one hop is Alex Littman. So So he will be at third after the long fly ball from Anthony McDougall, who continues his struggles at the plate, although they do move the runner up on the fly ball.
McDougall's got to be able to hit that ball on the ground up the middle. I mean, hitting a fly ball, that's great and all, but if you're going to hit it that high, you better hit it far. That's out number 2.
Got it decently on the barrel. Some solid contact, but just lifted too high in the air, and that'll bring up the 4-hole hitter, Nick Kreutzer.
Nick Kreutzer's had some clutch at-bats. In the game against the A's where they failed to take the win, he got the 2 RBI game-tying double, and he helped out in the... Oh my, look out. The foul ball nearly took out the Lumberjacks over there.
And then a nice barehanded snag by one of our other players down the left field line. No glove needed. Reminds me of some of those famous barehanded plays by, I always remember the David Wright one, the third baseman for the Mets. And I believe his name is Kevin Mitchell, the left fielder. That was, forgetting who he plays for, but that one's a very famous one as he goes down the line in left and then overruns it and scoops it up barehanded.
Thinking of that one with the Mets, with they caught the bat that got away in spring training.
So Kreutzer hits here, 2-1 count. This pitch outside, a ball. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, going back to Kreutzer and his at-bats, he's had an RBI in every game since Wednesday on the 26th, totaling 8 RBIs, 9 total RBIs on the season.
Yeah, he has been swinging a hot bat. A lot of the balls that he's hit just been absolutely pummeled. 5 doubles for him so far this year.
Yeah, batting a .412. And he's surprisingly only come around to score once.
He hits in a full count here as Roberts gets set to deal. 3-2 pitch coming. High, and Kreutzer will stroll down to first with a walk. And that'll continue the inning here with 2 outs, and it'll be Nick Israel to bat for the Grizzly.
Kreutzer was a great guy. I was talking to him the other day. He told me if baseball doesn't work out, he wants to be a fireman.
Wow.
So he'd like to be a fireman and on his off days, teach baseball, teach Little League, be a coach, and loves the game of baseball.
Israel now taking strike 1. That's an admirable career path choice. One of my good friends has gone down that route as well, being a fireman.
First responders.
Talk about a level of commitment in that career field, as this pitch is going to miss here. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the thing, though, with these players, they're still in the middle of their careers.
Oh, absolutely.
And these guys, they, for the most part, most of these guys have the blinders on. Mm-hmm. They're looking dead red baseball careers, as they should.
Yeah, they're playing until they can't play anymore.
And that's the way most athletes are in general. You want to cross that bridge when you come to it, as this pitch will be taken for strike 2 from Nick Israel. When you're in that moment, you're just trying to do whatever you can.
Absolutely.
To elevate your game to the next level, as all of these players have come out here to California to get their reps in and do just that, play in front of these managers and try to get signed. A 1-2 to the lefty on the way. It's hit in the air to center field. Baker, who has been busy out there this half of the frame, will make the play, moving in just a tad. So that'll be the 3rd out in the top of the 1st. Nothing doing there for the Grizzly. The home team, the Lumberjacks, will come to bat here in the bottom of the 1st when we come right back. Back in Palm Springs as we go to the bottom half of the first. Nothing doing in the top half for the Grizzly. No runs, no hits, nothing doing at all. And that'll bring up Kadrian Russ, the lead man for the Oregon Lumberjacks. Pitching on the mound for the Grizzly, it'll be Jackson Decker, who works from the stretch and throws ball one into Kadrian Russ. Decker has pitched in 7 games so far. 1 win for him, a save. As he deals here, grounded softly to the shortstop. That's Nick Israel, who takes care of Kadrian Russ. The speedy lead man is out on the ground ball to shortstop.
And Speedy is right. I was about to give you his stats, and the most notable stat, he's got 9 stolen bases in 10 attempts. He's only thrown once.
Yeah,
that was on Friday.
I want to say he's probably leading the CWL.
Oh, absolutely.
At this point, 9 stolen bases, very impressive number there. This will be Adrian Sanchez after the ground out, so a quick out on the ground as Decker deals. This ball is hit in the air on the infield. That is Brandon Nieva, the third baseman, who calls off everybody and makes the play about halfway between home plate and third base near the line for the second out. Quickly 2 up, 2 down.
A great way to call it off for the Canadian and Brandon Nieva.
Number 1, Christian
Kozemka, fellow Chicagoan. Always see him outside of the hotel or anywhere outside the ballpark in his White Sox zip-up jacket.
Christian Kuzemka, 10 hits so far in the Winter League, taking ball 1. Pretty much not even really close as far as him being the best hitter on the team for the Lumberjacks, him and both Drew Thomas. 9 singles for Kuzemka, 1 extra base hit. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. 1-0 pitch is lofted in the air on the infield again. This time it'll be the first baseman, Kreutzer, who was coming in, and at the last second, Tanaka takes it. Kreutzer looks like he's a little bit unhappy with how that developed. Nonetheless, it is the third out. 3 up and 3 down go the Lumberjacks in the bottom of the first. We're still scoreless through 1 here in Palm Springs. We go to the second here. No score early on. Grizzly taking on the Lumberjacks. No hits in the ball game either yet. As the lead man Terry Tatum will come to bat here for the Grizzly. They started things off pretty well with Lippman getting hit by a pitch in the first, but were unable to bring him all the way around. Foul ball off the bat of Tatum. Roberts getting the start for the Lumberjacks. 2 games started so far this year. A 1-loss record. 7 strikeouts in those 2 games started as the 0-1 is in on a breaking ball. Fouled away, 0-2.
Barry Tatum batting an even 100. His only and first hit was on Thursday against the Chill. Scored 2 runs in that game, but 3 runs total. Reached on an error once, walked, and struck out 3 times.
So no balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Tatum, Nieva, and Tanaka in this frame. As Roberts deals from the windup. Breaking ball, hit in the air to center field. Giving chase out there is Baker, who has been very busy so far early in the game. Already with 4 putouts to the center fielder.
Yeah, he has gotten every single out when it comes to the Grizzlies. That's his 4th putout. You got Busby, McDougal, Israel, and now Tatum. Everyone's been hitting it up the middle. It's just everyone's been hitting it up the middle to one of the best outfielders out there.
Here is a swing and a miss. That's got me curious now. I'm just trying to figure out who has the most putouts in one game as an outfielder ever. One of those quirky stats. Here's a ball hit in the air again. Go get it, Baker. This time it's going to stay on the infield. That's the shortstop, Sanchez, who takes care of Brandon Nieva. Quickly 2 up and 2 down.
I would have to guess that it's maybe Fukuda for the A's. He's been insane out in center field. Making a lot of great plays out there.
Yeah, I remember there was some game last year, I believe it was Mookie Betts. He had like 10 putouts in the game. And I remember they were talking about the leader all time, and it was something ridiculous. I'm trying to find it here.
Oh, you're talking big league. I thought you were talking Cal Winterly.
1 ball and no strikes here to Travis Tanaka. This pitch is ripped down the line, foul off to the left side. Career all-time putouts is Willie Mays. The long-tenured outfielder, one of the greatest players of all time.
Travis Tanaka comes in, 286. He's got 4 hits, 3 singles, and a double. 5 RBIs.
Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball that misses. 2 balls and a strike. Having trouble finding who had the most in one game, but here's one. How about the record for the most putouts in a row by an outfielder? How about 7?
Oh, my.
2-1 pitch inside, 3 balls and a strike.
Who was that?
It was Ben Chapman all the way back in 1937. Roberts dealing here to Travis Tanaka. 2 outs quickly here, top of the second. This pitch runs pretty far in. It'll be ball 4 to Tanaka. He'll take a walk. And the Grizzlies will extend the inning with a runner at first now. Still searching for their first hit in the ballgame, and that'll bring up Sean Lawler. Lawler had that big blast. I want to say that was the last time the Grizzlies played. That would have been back on Sunday. That was the home run to dead away center field as the lefty goes after the first pitch and swats it foul. That home run, one of the longest, if not the longest so far of the California Winter League, straight out to dead center. Probably roughly around in the range of 410 to 420 distance. We've seen some majestic home runs to right field from some of the lefties.
And you'd be correct, he did hit that home run in yesterday's game, or apologies, Sunday's game.
Hitting in a 1-1, so they get some power at the bottom of the order. Lawler hitting in the 9 hole as he tries to turn the lineup back over to Alex Littman, who awaits on deck. Roberts peeking over at first. Tanaka with a small lead starts and stops as the pitch is in there for a strike against Sean Lawler.
Lawler with that home run. So he's got 1 home run, averaging .333, 5 RBIs and runs, 3 doubles, and just a single. He's 5 for 15 in the league.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch from Roberts in the dirt. And moving up to second, Tanaka will go on the wild pitch. So he's in scoring position now as the Grizzly still search for their first hit in the ballgame. No score here through 1. Top of the second right now with 2 outs. Tanaka runs decently for a catcher. Not typically a position that you'll see a guy with good wheels. He actually runs pretty well for manning that position. Time called in the box.
And today is a 2 for Tuesday. You get 2 tickets for the price of 1. See a lot of people here with somebody.
Yesterday was a relatively quiet day at the park. Today, another pretty quiet day, but we do have more fans here today than we did yesterday. Count will be full here to Sean Lawler, who is a threat to hit for some power. As Roberts will come set slowly on the mound. Ready to go, kicks and deals outside, so Lawler is awarded a walk for being patient at the plate, and runners will now be at first and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, Decker likes to take his time. Apologies. Roberts likes to take his time on the mound when he's pitching, as that is the second walk he's given up. Just 1 2/3 inning.
So the batter now, Alex Littman, taking inside ball 1.
Littman was hit by the pitch on the first pitch of the game. He's 0 for 0 as far as Mendoza's going to have a word with his pitcher. Quick word, but come back. We were talking earlier, you were talking about like players playing as long as they can. Officially, one player has finally said that he's played long enough, and Tom Brady officially retiring this morning. Big news in the sports world.
Huge news in the sports world as here's a strike. It's very interesting to see that generation of players. It was, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, that kind of whole generation of quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger as well. Now all of those guys retired. It's making me feel a little bit older as this ball's tapped foul. And I thought I was feeling older when I had to watch Derek Jeter retire.
Oh.
As we've seen, obviously, a newer wave, in the game of baseball.
Yeah. I think for me, it was when, growing up, Cub fan, seeing a lot of the NL Central, when Prince Fielder was told he could no longer play due to health reasons, and he had such a long career with Milwaukee. That was kind of it for me. I was like, I'm getting up there.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch, check swing. It's hit on the infield. Calling off everybody is the second baseman Fontana, who squeezes it for the 3rd out. So the Grizzly will strand 2 on base. They leave Tanaka out in scoring position as Kevin Roberts gets out of the jam for the Lumberjacks. Still no score as we go to the bottom of the second here in Palm Springs. Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda as we go to the bottom half of the second. No score. The Lumberjacks coming to bat here. After going 3 up and 3 down in the first, both teams still searching for their first hit of the ball game. It'll be the cleanup man, Nick Jimbalvo, to lead it off. And the lefty awaits the first pitch and swinging and hitting it foul just over that big puddle down the right field line. Talking about later generations and now the newer generations before we went to the break. Talking about something that doesn't even feel real either, Andres, is the fact that Mike Trout now has been in the league as long as he has, as he approaches his 30th birthday, I believe, which doesn't even seem real. Him coming up, I believe that was back in 2010. So to think that he's already been in the league for 12 years, that almost doesn't seem real in itself.
Yeah, I remember the draft where MLB Network was just getting started, and people were following and seeing him get drafted on there as a kid.
Hitter is Nick Jimbalvo, as the lefty is in the hole 1-2, with Jackson Decker, the righty, coming set and dealing. Pitch is hit in the air to left. We'll see if this can fall for the first hit. It is not going to. It hangs up just long enough for Christian Busby to put away the out. And there's quickly one down here. Jackson Decker has retired all 4 hitters that he has seen so far early on in this game.
This game moving along quickly in the stance that no one has recorded a hit. Everyone's been getting hitouts.
So now it'll be Spencer Kean as he takes ball 1 a little bit high in the zone. Talking about Trout being in the league for so long, I'm trying to find the story here. One of the more interesting stories of all time. As we'll get this pitch 1-0, swung on, hit hard to third on one bounce. Backhanding it is Nieva, and he gives Kreutzer a nice long hop over to first for the second out. Pretty nifty play there by the third baseman, snagging it on the backhand and making a strong throw.
It's called the hot corner for a reason, and Nieva, I checked that glove and see there's some burn marks in there. Some fresh leather being cooked.
So now it'll be Kane Ruiz. He is the batter standing in, the left fielder today, and he got to visit up in the booth a couple of days ago. Really nice young man. Good presence to him, big smile, softly spoken,
He's
but
a pool
confident.
Shark. Pool shark. You weren't there with us, but we were playing pool. Cleared the table. Absolutely insane.
There you go.
And if you can't make something out of baseball, you'll see him in the pool classics, the billiards classics.
He hits here in a 2-0 count, 2 outs, no score. Here in the bottom of the second, Decker kicks and deals. Pitch is a fastball in their first strike.
Told me and Josh and I are staying together at the hotel with a couple of the clubbies. Tells us that he and his dad go to the local pool bar and just go and play some pool out there. So he's been playing for a long time, and he, after the break, he's already sinking balls in the pockets.
So Decker, deep breath as he pauses at the top, brings ball 3 in. 3 balls and a strike to the hitter, Kane Ruiz. Decker has set all 5 hitters down that he has faced so far in this game. Time called in the box.
Kane's batting 167. Only 2 hits, those being singles, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts.
So Decker ready to go, finds his footing on the hill as he deals 3-1. Check swing, it's called a strike anyway to Ruiz, who double checks with the home plate umpire to make sure It was in the zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Decker quickly gets the sign and is ready to fire. Deals here, swung on and missed. First strikeout of the ballgame for Decker. He's retired all 6 that he has faced so far, and he is rolling on the mound. The Grizzly will come to bat in the 3rd. They're trying to give him some run support. Both teams still scoreless here in Palm Springs. We go to the top of the 3rd here. Both teams scoreless between the Lumberjacks and the Grizzlies. The Grizzly are the visiting team, so they will hit here in the top of the 3rd with Christian Busby to lead it off. He's 0 for 1. Flying out to the center fielder Chris Baker, who has been busy so far in this game as he takes inside ball 1. So I did find that story, Andres, the one on Trout with the draft.
Yeah.
So here's a good one for you. Trout likely would have been an Arizona Diamondback, which is really weird to think about in general, just trying to imagine him in that uniform. Basically, a scout for the Diamondbacks had looked at Trout and was very thrilled in what he had seen. This is Tom Allison, scouting director for the Diamondbacks back in 2009. So Allison takes a look at this guy Trout, gets a great look at him, and he's really impressed. So the next day, he's supposed to go see Steven Matz pitch, the left-handed pitcher who has pitched in the big leagues. And Steven Matz's ball game gets rained out as Christian Busby takes a walk. So instead of being at the game to see Matz pitch in Long Island, because of the rain or the rain out, he goes back to see Trout again the next day. So he doesn't if that game doesn't get rained out, he doesn't go back, right? So he goes back, and Trout has an awful game. And because he has an awful second game, Allison starts second guessing his ability. And then he brings up the fact, his dad flared out in the minor leagues, as Busby will steal second base. So he's got all these thoughts running through his head, and him second guessing after Trout having a bad day, the second day was enough for him to go back to their scouting department and say, we don't want to touch this guy.
Is he still working?
Good question. Cannot confirm on that one. But how about that for a story?
Oh, that's tough.
This pitch is hit in the air down the right field line in foul territory. Giving chase is Kreutzer. And he's unable to make the play. It bounced up as Fontana tries to sell it.
So, from my vantage point, Kreutzer, I guess, touched the ball with the glove, but it bounced off of the fence out there. And came back in, so because it touched the fence, it's not an out. I will say that ball bounced a little too high to come off of some leather.
Fontana gave his best Oscars performance to try and sell it. It is a foul ball, though, so Anthony McDougall will hit in a 1-ball, 1-strike count with Busby at second. That's how things will go in baseball, too. When scouts are there to evaluate, usually it's for basically just one game or so. A game
absolutely.
or two. Most guys, they're not going to hang around unless, you're a highly touted guy, then you might obviously hang around for a few games just to kind of cross-check. Trout was a pretty highly thought-of guy.
Oh, for sure.
First rounder, but it's just crazy how some of this stuff plays out. It'll happen across all major sports, but sometimes it really just is right place, right time. And sometimes things just have a way of working themselves out. In his case, obviously, for Trout, it's worked out for the better, as a breaking ball is in there for a strike.
I think one of the scouts out here said it best, take a look one day and then the next day it's not the same thing anymore, and that's all it'll take. Scouts is as unfair as it seems. That's just the way that it is, because at the end of the day, baseball, as it is as a sport, it's also a business, and these men are investors, and they're not going to invest in something they don't like.
Ball is taken inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. And in today's day and age, too, where scouting has become even more interesting with guys cross-referencing all of the advanced statistics, or at least as many statistics as they can track. I mean, think about it. Back in even just 10 or so years ago, a lot of high schools don't keep a ton of stats on guys.
Well, absolutely not.
So you're kind of working by word of mouth as this ball is flared into right field. It's going to be down for a base hit. Holding up at third will be Busby as the throw comes into the plate. So a soft line drive from Anthony McDougall. And that is the first hit of the ball game as he moves Busby up to third.
It took 3 innings, but here we are. A good toss by Kean, coming in hard and firing over to Mendoza.
So now it'll be Nick Kreutzer, the cleanup man, will hit with runners at the corners. But yeah, just very interesting how, some of these things play out. I know me personally, I've seen some games of guys that are, certainly on the radar for teams, and I'm thinking, I don't really see much here. That's whatever, 5 at-bat sample size.
Yeah. That's why a league like this, where you get an entire month to show off your best stuff, is very critical for these guys.
I would say baseball, more than any other sport, you're relying more on a gut feeling, I would say, than any other sport. As the pitch will come into Kreutzer, he lifts it foul on the first pitch he sees. No balls and a strike, runners at the corners. With football, it's pretty straightforward. It's a very physical game, so you can really see, okay, this guy really stands out physically. He's 6'5", he runs well, and, he threw for 3,000 yards as a junior.
Absolutely.
Pretty self-explanatory, Baseball, not always that clear-cut, as this ball is grounded over to the first baseman, Kuzemka, who goes to second for 1, back to first with Roberts there, and they make the play. Actually, it might have been Kuzemka getting back on the bag, so they'll go 3-6-3 on the double play, and Busby stays put at third.
I'm surprised Busby didn't take off, or at least try to bait the runner to at least get one man on. If Kuzemka takes a look, gives Kreutzer a few more steps over to first. It wasn't the closest play at first, but enough to at least get something going. I'm a little disappointed to see that Busby did not move at all.
So 2 down now on the ground ball double play. A big double play there for the Lumberjacks defensively. As Roberts spikes this pitch in the dirt. The batter is Nick Israel, hitting in a 2-0 count. Busby's still at third. He runs decently. Just one hit so far. First hit coming from Anthony McDougall. Kevin Roberts, so far so good for him. No strikeouts yet in the game as he gets a big swing and a miss here from Nick Israel. And actually all of his putouts up until that double play on the ground had been in the air. 5 fly ball outs to the outfield. Or 4, and then 2 on the infield. Here's a ball outside to the left-handed hitting shortstop, Nick Israel. 3 balls and a strike. 2 down here after the double play. As Roberts is ready to go with the 3-1. Pitch on the way. Swung and missed is Israel. A big swing there.
Huge swing even.
Trying to drive the ball into the outfield. Now it'll be a full count with Roberts trying to get out of the jam. It'll come set here. A 3-2 payoff pitch. Outside, and it'll be ball 4 to Nick Israel, and it'll be up to Terry Tatum with 2 down here in the top of the third.
Terry Tatum, another one who flew out to center field his first time at bat.
Terry Tatum.
So Tatum will hit the second baseman 0 for 1. He flied out to center his first time around. Time called in the box as the catcher, Mendoza, comes out and gives the first and third play call. Again, baseball, one of those games you really are going with your gut, especially when you have 40 rounds in the amateur draft.
Oh, yeah, that is a long draft.
Pitch on the way. It's going to get by on the wild pitch. Coming to score is going to be Busby, and then moving all the way up to third was Israel, who was running on the pitch. So a wild pitch, and now the Grizzly are on the board here in the top of the third, 1-0.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Israel going all the way to third on the wild pitch. And as you said, now they lead 1-0, and he's got a runner on third, possibly to add another run.
So Tatum will try to bring in another as he takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Christian Busby walking to lead off here in the third. Stealing a base and now making his way all the way around. Grizzly trying to add another one as this pitch is stuffed in the dirt, kept in front by Mendoza, the catcher. Yeah, 40 rounds in MLB. Usually towards the end of the draft, really, it's teams just taking guys that are athletes. You'll see random, like, football players and basketball players get drafted. Here's a strike to Tatum, who I'm almost certain. Did that hit the dirt?
I thought it hit the dirt.
I believe the pitch hit the dirt. Hey, talk about a frame job by Mendoza.
Oh, I was with Terry. My jaw dropped.
So Tatum in a 2-2 count. 2 outs. Lifts this one into center. Soft line drive sinking in front of Baker. Dropping it in there for an RBI single. So Tatum stays resilient even though he got a bad call on him for a strike. He hung in there in the at-bat, though, and he has an RBI single, and the Grizzly now lead it 2-0.
That's how you get right back into it. You get a call you don't like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and hit a single and put my team up 2-0.
Good piece of hitting there from Tatum, just a soft line drive, trying to make contact with 2 outs, and he did just that. So 2 runs across as this ball is grounded back to Sanchez, the shortstop. He'll go the short way, flips it to Fontana at second, for the force play. So the Grizzlies get 2 runs as they have now opened it up here in this game. 2-0 is our score. We'll go to the home half of the third.
Number 24.
We go to the bottom of the third. The Lumberjacks come to bat here. It'll be Chris Baker. He's been busy defensively. We'll see if he can't get things started offensively. Lefty digs in and takes a big swing and a foul ball on the first pitch he sees. So far, so good for Jackson Decker. Smooth sailing for him. Worked through a 1-2-3 clean inning in the first and a 1-2-3 in the second. Just one strikeout, but a bunch of weak contact.
Chris Baker looking for that second hit. He only has one, and he got that hit at the beginning of opening day in the opening game against the Grizzlies, the first time these teams faced each other. Ever since then, it's been strikeouts and walks ever since.
Yeah, that's got to feel like a long time ago at this point. Opening day was back on Friday, the 21st of January. There's a swing and a miss. How about this? We're already into February, Andres.
Yeah, it's happy February 1st. Literally halfway through the season. It's literally all downhill from here.
I was talking to my parents yesterday on the phone and telling them how it's kind of funny. You kind of get lost in the fact that it actually is still winter time. I believe this ball was fouled in the box. No initial call from the umpire. Baker will still hit in a 1-2 count. But talking to them how it's easy to kind of lose track of the time out here because it just simply doesn't feel like wintertime.
Absolutely not.
Not the wintertime that I'm accustomed to, at least.
No, I think the only thing that reminds me of the winter is how dark it gets, how soon it gets so dark out here.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And it actually will get even darker earlier because once the sun goes behind that mountain behind us, it gets very dark very quickly. Baker will hit in an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So once that sun, and especially on a day like today too, when it's cloudy, once that sun goes behind the mountain around 4 o'clock, it's going to be
real dark.
pretty dark pretty quickly.
Walk
Here's
with a
Baker taking outside. It'll be a full count.
Well, also on the it being February 1st, it's also the Lunar New Year for the Chinese folk who celebrate the New Year.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch is just barely inside. Baker sold it by just tossing the bat immediately. So first base runner of the ball game for the Lumberjacks. Decker issues the walk. The Lumberjacks still searching for their first hit in the ball game, though.
I was looking at Tanaka behind the plate. He was asking where that missed, and I just saw him shake his head afterwards.
So this will be Danny Fontana. Swinging at the first pitch, hit high in the air to left center field. Moving over to his left is Christian Busby, who makes the play. And that'll be the first out here in the home half of the third. 2-0 our score. The Grizzlies lead it on 2 hits. They would score both in the top half of the third. We got a furry friend down there barking up the storm. Stealing the show from the baseball field.
That small little white dog, I saw the smallest little dog.
Runner moves, pitches, hit into center field on the line. Going first to third is going to be Baker, who was running on the pitch. It's a line drive single for Andres Mendoza, swinging after the first pitch and hitting a nice single into center. So the Lumberjacks are in business here, finally getting their first hit, and they're threatening with runners at the corners.
It's kind of crazy. We're in the third inning, and now we're just now getting to the top of the lineup again for the Lumberjacks. Is Kadrian Russ, the stolen base king here in speedster, will come up to bat.
0 for 1. He grounded out to the shortstop his first time around. Runners at the corners. Decker, the long, lanky righty, deals in the dirt. Opened up his hips a little bit too early on his delivery there. An exit velo of 89 off the bat of Mendoza on the single into center. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, runners at the corners, tapped out in front towards the third baseman, Nieva, and it's under his glove. It could be a coin flip as far as hit error. We'll credit an error to Nieva, so scoring is Baker on the air. And it is now 2-1. Grizzly lead it by 1 run here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, that's a ball you got to pick up with your hand, or make sure you got it in the glove. You're rushing it a little too hard, and on the grass it's going to be a little softer. You got to get that glove all the way down.
So Russ will not get credited for an RBI, but it does bring the run home. 2-1 is our score now as Adrian Sanchez digs in, and we'll try to continue this inning on a good note for the Lumberjacks. He is 0 for 1. He flied out on the infield to the third baseman his first time around. Mendoza at second, Kadrian Russ at first. This pitch is swung on and hit foul. Pretty good top half of the third for the Grizzly, getting their 2 runs. Kevin Roberts, the starter for the Lumberjacks, has aided in the Grizzlies' success, though, offensively. He's issued 5 walks already and also hit a batter. Here's the ball hit in the air on the infield now into the grassy area out there is the second baseman. That is Terry Tatum, who corrals it for the out. And now there will be 2 away here in the bottom of the third. So Sanchez out on the pop out to the second baseman. Still runners at first and second. This will be Christian Kuzemka, the first baseman. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to the first baseman his first time around. Hits in that closed stance, swinging and fouling off the first pitch. Big frame for Kuzemka. Talked about his ability to hit earlier on.
And Kuzemka, one of those batters who's got a good bat on him. Coming into the game, just over 600 average.
Here's a wild pitch. It'll allow the base runners to move up a base, so runners now both in scoring position at second and third between Russ and Mendoza.
Christian Kazemka again entering the game 625 on the average, so 10 hits.
Not a bad clip.
No, not at all.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch is hit foul, staying alive. More of a defensive swing there on the low fastball. So Decker trying to work out of it. Righty we touched on coming into the game. 1 win on the season. Not a big strikeout guy, as he brings a 1-2. Swing and a miss here. Down goes Kuzemka. So he gets Kuzemka swinging, and the Lumberjacks strand 2 in scoring position. They do get a run back, though, and the lead is now cut in half. It's 2-1 in favor of the Grizzly as we go to the 4th. We go to the top of the 4th here. Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Mendoza.
Not Mendoza.
Excuse me, Andres Tejeda.
Mendoza's behind the catch.
Knew it was going to happen at some point.
Mendoza's down there, bud.
Tejeda up in the booth. This pitch tapped out in front towards the third baseman over there. That's Russ, and legging it out is Tanaka for an infield hit.
Russ had to come on down and beat out Tanaka at first, but just couldn't do it. It was a weird check swing, basically around the size of a bunt as far as that ball was traveling. Nowadays, Sean Lawler comes up.
Slow roller there and an infield hit, and it'll be Sean Lawler, the designated hitter. Tanaka at first on the infield hit. Pitch on the way, hit high in the air towards the shortstop region. That's Adrian Sanchez. He makes the play, and for whatever reason, not tagging up was Tanaka. He was about halfway to second, but he gets back in time. 1 away here in the top of the 4th.
Not exactly what you should be doing on a pop fly there. I get the idea that if he drops it, you're going, but even still, got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just caught out in no man's land.
Playing with fire As a strike is taken here from Alex Littman. 0 for 1, he was hit by a pitch back in the first.
On the first pitch of the game, no less.
2-1 is our score in favor of the Grizzly. 3 hits for the Grizzly. Pitch on the way, upstairs, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on this cloudy day in Palm Springs. Decent showing from our crowd on this Tuesday afternoon. Roberts to the plate, up high for a ball. Late strike call. That one was up around the shoulder of Littman. You can see Cam Roth down there. He's smiling. He had some beef in the first game with the
different umpiring crew.
Yep, with the balls and strikes in game 1.
Oh, Littman, keep it cool, keep it cool.
1-2 count. Check swing, he taps it. The first baseman will call everybody off. That is Kazemka, who makes the play in foul territory.
That's a tough call there.
So 2 down here in the top of the 4th.
Next up,
It'll be Christian Busby to the plate now for the Grizzly.
Christian Busby.
Busby walked and then scored a run in the 3rd. That was the first run of the ball game. So far, really no loud contact from either team. About a bunch of softly hit balls. Runner will try to go here. Throw down is not in time. It's a stolen base for Tanaka. We mentioned back in the 2nd, he runs pretty well for a catcher.
Oh, yeah. He's actually one of the smaller catchers, smaller in the sense that he's not short, just he's a lot more leaner than most catchers you'll find.
Yeah, it's certainly a position on the diamond that there's a profile to it.
Absolutely.
Pitch is hit foul. Typically, you'll see guys above 6 foot. Usually just a lot bigger in frame. Not always the case, but typically the case.
They usually have guys around 185, 190 and above behind the plate, too. Take a beating back there.
One of the most physically demanding positions, if not the most physically demanding on the baseball field. The other one that comes to mind for me is the center fielder. Obviously just making so many runs in the outfield. You'll see a lot of center fielders or long-tenured center fielders typically will end up having nagging leg injuries throughout their careers. Just because of all of the starting and stopping that you have to do at that position as this pitch is taken inside. Typically your shortstop and second baseman will be smaller. However, not always the case, but typically smaller and leaner, quicker on their feet. And then you'll usually get the bigger guys on the corners between the first and third baseman. Pitch is going to sail over the head of Mendoza. And nonetheless, it is ball 4. So taking a walk is Busby. And moving up on the wild pitch is Tanaka.
Yeah, I think Tanaka was in Roberts' head. He kept looking back at him and dancing around at second, and Roberts just sailed that pitch way over the head of Mendoza.
Anthony McDougal singled his last time up, 1 for 2. He will be the batter. Grizzly in a 1-run lead, 2-1. Here, top of the 4th. Kevin Roberts still on the mound for the Lumberjacks as he comes set. Runners at the corners. First pitch here is going to miss the zone, ball 1. Anthony McDougal, the right-handed hitter, one of the better hitters for the Lumberjacks, for the Grizzly, pardon.
It's hard to tell them apart sometimes. The green tops and white bottoms.
Especially McDougal's got one of the newer Grizzly uniforms that looks exactly like the Lumberjacks. Stolen base here for Busby, and he's now in scoring position. Runners at second and third. So the Grizzly making it interesting here with 2 more possible runs trying to be plated. Anthony McDougal a good candidate to have at the plate to try and drive those runs in. McDougal on the year still searching to try and get things going offensively as he swings and misses. His first hit of the year back in the third, but he is a dangerous hitter in the sense of being able to hit the ball hard.
I was just looking at the stats now that we had a stolen base on Mendoza. He has yet to throw out one guy on the base paths. He's only allowed 3, now 4 stolen bases on him.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch is left alone by McDougal at the plate. It'll be 3-1. Nick Kreutzer awaits on deck, the power-hitting lefty. Should it get to him? 2 down here. As Roberts is set to deal the 3-1. Pitch on the way is outside. So it will get to Kreutzer here with the bases juiced.
Already seen Nick Kreutzer. Great guy to have in a position like this.
Yeah, he hit the ball hard his last time, but grounded into the double play, hit it hard over to the first baseman his first time around, and they were able to turn the 3-6-3 double play.
Kreutzer, one of the top batters here in the league. He's on 4 of the 5 leading stats, as it looks like that's going to be about it for Roberts. But let me give you those stats before we go to the break. He's number 3 in OPS with 1.18. Batting average, 4th in the league with a 4.12 batting average. Slugging, he's 4th with 7.06. And runs batted in, he's 2nd with 9. So he has a chance here to bring in some more runs and take over the lead from Gavin Jones, who they were tied earlier, but he got an RBI in the first game. Let's see if Kreutzer can take over here. We'll be right back.
So that'll be the day for Roberts. The bases will be loaded when we come back here top of the 4th with 2 down. Nick Kreutzer to bat here for the Grizzly. Bases are loaded, 2 down. Pitch in the dirt. New pitcher on the mound is A.J. Shaw. I believe A.J. pitched yesterday in the Lumberjacks' victory over the Canada A's.
I'm pretty sure Nick Kreutzer is batting now. He's leading the league with the most doubles. He's got 5 of them. Definitely leads the team with the most hits with 7. There's 9 RBIs, an average of 4.12. Only 2 other guys with a higher batting average. That's Barron Porter at 4.55 and Carter Davis at 4.62, but they don't have nearly enough at-bats to qualify.
There's a strike to Kreutzer, so left on left. And a good idea from J.J. Johnson, the manager for the Lumberjacks, to bring in the lefty against Kreutzer, who taps foul to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So A.J. Shaw did pitch in yesterday's game, so not getting a ton of rest. One of these pitchers being asked to put on a ton of work on their shoulders as this pitch barely misses.
That was a close call, especially with this opening we've been seeing today. AJ Shaw got.
This pitch is fouled away as we got some commotion in the crowd between the foul ball corralling off of the bleachers. Maybe a fan losing his beer, I'm not exactly certain.
Oh no.
Steve Frary and MJ down there getting 50-50 raffle tickets. 2-2 strike. Pitch throws him. Strike 3 looking. Kreutzer goes down. He didn't like the call.
Not at all. We almost threw a line in the dirt.
AJ Shaw gets out of it as he came in to relieve, and he does his job. So that'll do it there, top of the 4th. The Grizzlies strand. The bases loaded. 2-1 is our score. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th with the Lumberjacks coming up to bat. It's Glesser alongside Andres Tejeda. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Grizzly in control by a run. 2-1 is our score. Pretty quiet day from both teams offensively as Nick Gimbalvo stands in. The designated hitter takes ball 1. He's 0 for 1. He flied out to left his first time around. Jackson Decker still on the mound for the Grizzly, giving them a good start on the hill. The righty will bring a 1-0. Pitch is taken for a strike. Decker again, 1 win on the year so far. This looking like his best outing so far. Brings this pitch in. 1-1 strike pitch is fouled away, 1-2. And I suppose Decker really, Andre, is just not one of those guys that sticks out a ton because he's got decent stuff, but it's not anything that really blows you away. He just does his job, pounding the zone, getting guys out that way.
This is his longest start. He's gone 3 innings. ERA of 2.1.
Chopped over to first on 1 bounce to Kreutzer, who handles it above the head easily. He takes it to the bag himself.
He does have a save and a win. He has not started a game in 10 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 5 runs, only 3 of them earned, 3 walks, and believe it or not, 13 strikeouts.
Right fielder, number 3, Spencer.
He does have a long, lanky frame, typically what you want to see out of a pitcher. Good mechanics, repeatable, that's for certain. Swing and a miss here from Kean. Not really overpowering with the fastball, looks to be about mid-80s. Something around there. just doing a great job in exemplifying why you can be successful on the mound if you just throw strikes. Here's a ball underneath the glove of the third baseman over there in Brandon Nieva. That's going to be an error on the third baseman. I believe that might be his second error of the game. It is.
Definitely.
And that ball just stayed down on him. He tried to flip the glove over at the last second, but hitting that lip, I believe it was, or hitting maybe part of that wet spot on the dirt, and the ball just stayed down on him. Unable to adjust in time.
Number 14, Kane Ruiz.
So now it'll be Kane Ruiz with the runner at first. Ball is inside, almost hits him. Andres doing a little sign work over to my left.
Yeah. Making sure we got the names out here correctly. I appreciate you got my name right coming back in this inning.
Ball is hit off to the right side. Obviously not done on purpose.
Of course
Joking
not.
that Josh has done it a little bit more than me, so.
He's done it one more time than you have. It's all good. I appreciate the effort.
Kane Ruiz swings and misses, strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And you typically don't see this, a hitter taking time to go talk to his third base coach. JJ giving him some instruction.
Clearly, JJ saw something that he wants him to change. Again, Kane Ruiz, he's got a good mentality about him. He's just got to be able to produce on the diamond, and JJ's going to try to help him in any way he can here.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch from Decker. Here it comes. Swung on and hit foul. So Decker, a candidate for maybe the sneakiest pitcher in the league. Really making a case for himself here. I don't believe that he is signed yet. Not 100% on that, but I don't believe he is. 1-2 coming, hit back up the middle. The shortstop there, did he touch the bag? I believe he did. A great play from Nick Israel coming across to his left, and he tagged the base while he caught the ball on the ground. And they get the double play on the 6-3 to the shortstop. Nothing doing in the bottom of the 4th there, and the Grizzlies still lead it. 2-1 is our score as we go to the 5th. New hitter was Daisuke Fukuda as we come back just a tad bit late. Trying to get the pinch hitter there. So Fukuda hit for Nick Israel. And Fukuda is going to ground out to third. for the first out, and I believe it'll be another new hitter. So substitutions, normally as they come for most of these teams, come in the 5th. And now this will be Jacob McGinnis who takes strike 1, so he will pinch hit in the place of Terry Tatum. So back-to-back pinch hitters. Taking a strike. 0-2 is the count. Not much doing offensively for both teams in a bit of a pitcher's duel. Swing and a miss here. Quickly 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Shaw getting McGinnis to strike out swinging.
Shaw's trying to bring those stats down. The most he's ever pitched is an inning in a 3rd. He has a save, but that ERA is at 3.93. Trying to get it a little lower than that as it's right around the 4 mark.
First pitch swinging is Brandon Nieva. This could be a real quick half frame. Grounded over to 3rd. 1, 2, 3 on just a handful of pitches.
5 pitches.
From A.J. Shaw. 5 pitches is all he needs. 3rd out recorded there on the ground out. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Grizzlies still lead 2-1 with the Lumberjacks coming to bat here. Keep it right here for more CWL action.
The center fielder, Chris.
To the bottom of the 5th we go. 2-1 is our score. The Grizzlies lead it over the Lumberjacks. This will be Chris Baker to lead it off. Hitting this ball hard into right field. Giving chase is McDougal, who has no chance as it rattles up against the wall. Picking it up on the hop, getting it into the cut man McGinnis, and holding up at second will be Baker. First pitch swinging, though, and he's aboard at second with an extra base hit on the double.
That's the way to get it done, and they're a base hit from tying this game.
So the Lumberjacks in a good spot here. Baker putting them in that good spot with the leadoff double.
Number 7, Danny.
That's their first extra base hit of the day. Just 2 hits in the ball game for the Lumberjacks. The single coming courtesy of Andres Mendoza back in the 3rd.
Thought you were going to give it to me.
Not to be confused with my counterpart, Andres Tejeda. Strike 1 here to Danny Fontana. Speaking of names in baseball, random thought came over me. I have a good friend at home. We always joke about why are the names in baseball the funniest names in sports. As this ball is flied into center field, catching it is Barron Porter, who is now in center. Fontana out on the flyout for the first out. Staying put at second is Baker. But we always talk about how there's so many alliteration names in baseball. Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Freddie Freeman, Billy Butler. Something about baseball.
I'm thinking about the more weirder ones, like the crazy ones, like Cocoa Crisp.
Again, another alliteration and a weird name. Cocoa Crisp, one of them.
It's a great cereal, too.
A great cereal name. I'm surprised he never had like a cereal box deal. How did that never happen?
Not even Wheaties.
Yeah.
Jared Saltalamacchia. That's a long...
Yeah, that was a long one. That one, his name looked like a rainbow going around the number.
Yeah.
Ball is tapped foul off the bat of Mendoza, who is 1 for 1. Yeah, all those alliteration names. Mickey Mantle. They all seem to start that way. Just one of those funny quirks about the game that I've noticed.
I'm not sure we have any of those here in today's game. I'm sure there's got to be some somewhere. Terry Tatum.
Terry Tatum, there you are. Skied on the air. McGinnis calling everybody out as he waves the hands around. The second baseman will squeeze it for the second out. Weak contact there from Mendoza. Tremendous effort on the mound today so far from Jackson Decker, who has now gone 4 2/3, only allowing the 1 run on 2 hits. Solid day for him.
To Cadron to get this run, this tying run home, as the leadoff double has just been the double.
So Baker out at second, trying to find his way around, but a strike is thrown here to Kadrian Russ. Russ, a good candidate to at least put the ball in play. He has already put the ball in play twice in this game. He's 0 for 2. He did reach on the error in the third. One of Brandon Nieva's 2 errors. Strike is thrown here. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here. Bottom of the 5th.
Would Christian Kazemka count? It's C and K, but
Close enough. Sure. I'll let it slide. I'll let it pass. Travis Tanaka. Yes, there you go. Pitch is in the dirt as we speak to Tanaka. Keeps it in front. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mean, how about just in general Babe Ruth? First name Babe. Obviously, George Herman Ruth is his real name, but
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee Reese. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Here's the pitch. Slider is swung on, hits softly to the second baseman McGinnis, handles it and throws out Russ. It's another clean inning for Decker, getting out of it after Baker led off with the double, but he keeps them right where they're at. And the Grizzlies still lead it by 1 run. 2-1 is our score going into the 6th here in Palm Springs. go to the top of the sixth here in Palm Springs. Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. 2-1 is our score in favor of the visiting team, the Grizzly, who come to bat here. 2-1. Just 5 hits total in this game from both teams. Pretty good effort on the mound from the starter Kevin Roberts for the Lumberjacks. It's now A.J. Shaw, who came in back in the fourth. First pitch was ball 1 to Tanaka, and now he takes ball 2 inside. Pretty good day at the plate for Tanaka. A walk for him back in the second, and a single his last time up. Swinging and missing here. 2 balls and a strike to the catcher. Andres doing some homework on the names around the league. We're having a goofy conversation about that. Here's a ball upstairs.
So the Power, they got Casey Combs,
There you go.
catcher. Josh Jubilee. Oh, here's a fun last name. Robert Brugemeyer. That's a
Yeah.
Joseph Scambolari.
This ball is taken outside, so Tanaka will be aboard for the 3rd time this game. His 2nd walk on the day. Good production from him in the 8-hole tonight or this afternoon, as Sean Lawler will come back. Lawler 0 for 1. He popped out on the infield his last time up. Takes ball 1 a little bit high.
Chill. No unique names, but the longest one is Justin Van Weiger.
Right
He's
here.
got the 3 names, along with Swang Ji Peng.
Ball is lifted in the air high. The right fielder was playing very deep, so the second baseman Fontana running a country mile out towards the foul line in right field, and he makes the play. That's a harder play than what he made it look, running pretty far over towards the foul line to make the play.
He's got his back to the ball, basically an over-the-shoulder grab.
Aaron Porter.
Solid play there from the second baseman Fontana. And now it'll be Baron Porter, who came in to replace Alex Lippman in the 5th in center field. Porter with good speed. Hitting here at a 1-0 count.
Some more great names. Got Christian Kazemka.
Yeah, all the great alliteration names.
Nicholas Giambalvo. That's a fun name to say. And Robert Baldenabro.
Different flavors in all the names, and different flavors as well from where everybody's come from that's out here in the CWL. You'll get guys from all around the country. There's a couple guys here from Florida, I believe, some guys from Canada.
Looking at the Canada A's right now, you got Colton Kendrick there.
Ball 2 strike pitches. Hit out to right field. Starting in on it was Kean, who was frozen. And Porter's going to be at second base. Moving to third is Tanaka. Try to decide hit or error there. We'll give it an error. Base hit. Flip a coin.
Give him the base hit.
We'll give him a base hit. How about that?
What I'm concerned about is did Tanaka touch second base?
I believe he did. I was trying to watch Kean in right field.
It looks like they're going to check, and he's out.
Alrighty, so
Wow.
Andres, your eyes are clearly better than mine. So out at second base is Tanaka. He failed to touch second base.
So it's going to go.
How about that?
It's going to go Shaw to Sanchez on the appeal.
Alrighty, so a good eye from the field umpire to notice, and a good eye from JJ and the Lumberjacks to notice as well.
Next up for the Grizzlies.
So Tanaka is out.
Number 34, D.C. Ross.
1-4 on the putout, I believe. So this will be DC Russ. He digs in. He replaced Busby in the 5th in left field.
I think what you'll put there in the scorebook is an OOA out on appeal.
Right you are, my friend. This ball is hitting the left field. Soft line drive sinking in front of Ruiz. He picks it up and Throws it into the cut man, the third baseman. No chance for Baron Porter with good speed. And Russ has an RBI single. And the Grizzly continue to extend their lead. It's now 3-1. They lead it by 2 runs. Porter scoring easily on the soft line drive.
Anthony McDougal.
Anthony McDougal. 5 hits now in the ballgame for the visiting squad Grizzly. AJ Shaw still trying to get out of this thing with 2 down here in the top half of the 6th. 1 ball and no strikes to Anthony McDougal in the 3 spot.
I'm going to go back to my name hunt.
We'll check on the runner over at first.
So we said Colton Kendrick. And newly entered Felix Abu-Ret. That's a fun last name. Christian Broussard. Dayard Kimbrough. Some fun names there.
Here's a strike taken. Always fun to look at those corks. Baseball, one of those sports, more corks than most, with all the different ways guys will set up in the box as hitters and different ways guys will throw on the mound. Always fun to see a nice submarine guy, although that's very rare.
Yeah.
Chad Bradford comes to mind there. That guy would literally scrape his knuckles on the dirt.
Yeah. Some dirt kick up with the throw.
Creates one heck of a sinker if you're able to throw from that arm slot. Some guys will reinvent themselves too. Like if they get the yips or something of that nature from throwing over the top, some of them will drop down. Here's a wild pitch. That'll allow DC Russ to move up. That certainly does happen. I want to say R.A. Dickey, maybe. He won his Cy Young Award the one year, I believe he was still with the Mets when he won that. But I believe he was a guy, at least in the MLB, he had the yips. And then he went to the knuckleball. So talk about a weird way to bring yourself out of a rut.
Yeah.
The yips are such an interesting and weird thing as well. You'll see that some guys will get that like in golf as well with their swing. But the yips, just one of those nasty things to deal with as a player in baseball. Most of the time, guys don't even really realize how it ever happened. Here's strike 3 looking to Anthony McDougal. So the Lumberjacks get another run in the top half of the 6th here. Baron Porter scoring on the RBI single from DC Russ. Score is 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th here in Palm Springs.
Located in Palm Desert and Palm Springs. They also provide catering
To the bottom of the 6th we go. This will be Adrian Sanchez to lead it off.
Did you ever come out with my information?
This will be the Lumberjacks here, 3-1.
Yeah, no worries.
First pitch is swung on and tapped out in front. No signal from the home plate umpire is a foul ball. I believe this is a fair ball. This is a fair ball. The umpire never ruled a foul ball.
Umpires are looking at each other. He picked it up in foul territory. They're calling time and they're going to meet it. He touched it in foul territory. That's got to be a foul ball.
Strange play there. Both umpires. It's like that just reminded me there of the meme, the Spider-Man meme, where they're pointing at each other. I had flashes of that. Both umpires.
They're going to call him out.
They're going to call him out.
What? He touched it in foul territory. That's a foul ball.
Jimmy Johnson not very happy with it.
That's a foul ball all day.
I don't think they're going to go back on this one, but kind of an unfortunate call there. They're going to re-talk about it.
Yeah, he
oh boy, here we go.
He touched
Are we
going
to
to
get the good old switcheroo after chatting it over? This will be a fun one.
Oh boy.
We had a game, I believe you guys have probably heard the story up to this point. We had a game over in the summertime between the Power and I don't remember who they were playing. That game...
They're still going to call him out.
So they are going to call him out. That game, actually, sorry, it wasn't the Power. It was our PSCL championship game. So the teams that play in the morning over the summer. I'll never forget this. There was a home run ball. There's a netting out there underneath the scoreboard in left center. And the ball hit the netting, and then it fell back into the warning track. Home plate umpire comes out, says, okay, home run. Then the field umpire says, no, it wasn't. It was a double. They changed that call about 5 times.
Oh, wow.
And one of the weirder plays I've ever seen is Kuzemka laces a single into left field. A single for him. But I'll never forget that. The umpires changed the call like 4 times. It was total fiasco in itself.
That's crazy.
You'll see it every now and again.
Yeah. See, the other thing I was told during umpires was, it seems like that's the common theme in the last 3 or 4 games, is that you got to be confident in your call, and you talk it over with your team. And this one's lying down on a hard ground ball all the way to right field. You got to talk it over with your team. That's when you start deliberating, but you got to keep a keen eye on what's going on the field at all times.
When umpiring too, one of those things, like, as long as you just appear confident.
That's a lot of it.
That's really a lot of it. I mean, you can make a bad call by a half step, but if you make a convincing safer out call, it doesn't look as bad as when you're kind of mulling it over and then you give a late call.
Yeah, see that was just weird because they called him out, and then JJ goes and gives him a what I think was a convincing argument. I think it was good for them to go back on it. I just think they made the wrong call.
So runners at first and second, 1 away. Bottom half of the 6th, 3-1 is our score in favor of the Grizzly. This will be Spencer Kean at the dish. He takes strike 1.
I remember having lunch with JJ yesterday. He was not a fan of the umpires yesterday. I'm sure he's going to have fits today.
Decker still on the mound, brings low. Decker has pitched pretty quietly in this game, really, for how well he has done.
He's pitched efficiently. That's the other thing. He's only pitched 59 pitches in 6 1/3 or 5 1/3 innings of work. There's pitch number 60.
Yeah, he's faced 22 batters. He's only allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, just 2 strikeouts, but only 1 walk. You're going to live with that on the mound any day of the week, not allowing free passes.
And on top of that, 70% of his pitches have been falling for strikes.
Dealing another strike here on the ground. Dropping to his knee is Fukuda, who gets the force at second. They won't be able to turn 2. But it's a clean routine play on the force out. and the fielder's choice, so runners will be at the corners with 2 outs.
I'm surprised they didn't turn it. Guinness had some time. At least make the attempt. If he's safe, he's safe, but at least he got beat out by a guy who could run.
Yeah, and a good feed from Fukuda, who dropped to the knee. That's the way you want to do it at the shortstop position. Just drop to that knee and give the little 3/4 arm slot dart throw over a good feed, but not able to turn 2. So Decker will look to get out of it himself. 2 down. Tanaka smothers this one in front. And he's not even going to try to get Keehan, who steals the bag easily at second. So runners at second and third now. And for the first real time, Jackson Decker feeling some pressure here.
Yeah, it's a unique situation for him today.
Kane Ruiz, a big swing here. He's 0 for 2. Struck out swinging back in the second, and he grounded into a double play in the fourth.
Decker has thrown first pitch strikes to 70% of the batter's face. That's 16 of 23.
You're going to find a lot of success if you do that. This pitch barely missing inside on the fastball. Looks like his velocity has stayed pretty good throughout the course of this ball game. He's relied heavily on that pitch, really working around the kneecaps, getting guys to ground out. 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. Another ball tapped over towards the line over at third.
He's got 6 groundouts and 7 flyouts, only 2 of them being 2 strikeouts through 5 2/3 innings. So he's been having them either hit it really loudly or really quietly on the ground. Only 4 hits in the game, allowing only that 1 run that's unearned, by the way.
Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Pitch on the way to Ruiz. Hits it over to third. Nieva goes down low to get it. A long hop over there to first. Cole Rankin digs it out, and he makes the play to help out his third baseman. So Decker works out of the jam as he continues. A great day on the mound for him. And the Grizzlies still lead it 3-1 as we go to the top half of the 7th.
Welcome back to the California Winter League. Andres Hatter here with Mitch Glessner. Leading off the inning, number 39, as he hits this one out into left field for an out.
Thanks, Sean.
No problem.
Let's see, where's the tip? Better check the numbers over here. Is it 1-1? I'll check it. I always check it.
We're trying to make sure we get all these correctly.
Trying to figure out where Drew Thomas is hitting in the lineup.
Yeah, because Rankin led off, and now apparently he's in the 4 spot. It's Daisuke Fukuda now. Fukuda called on strike 1, and the new pitcher Adrian Sanchez pitching for the Jacks. Pitch inside for ball 1.
You're on the wrong team.
No, because I'm trying to. I put Sanchez into pitch.
0-1.
Yeah, you got it.
Fukuda 0-1.
Where's Thomas at?
No, he's number 23.
Ball in the dirt and away. Ball 2.
I don't know where he is in the lineup.
Doesn't help that I can't even find him.
Fukuda grounded out his last time to the third baseman. 2-1 count on the way.
Just
So
need to
swung
figure
on
out
and
his
fouled
order, I guess.
for strike
If he's
2.
just fielding, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
If you feel you need to put it in, I take it
So
out.
2-2.
Because he's
Pitcher number 2, and Adrian Sanchez. We'll try to get you his line score here. Adrian Sanchez pitching in a few other games. This one gets past the third baseman. Thomas couldn't handle it, and it'll be an error on the third baseman. He reaches first on the hard ground ball for an error. Sanchez has pitched in 4 other games, only pitching 1 inning each time. He's not recorded any wins, losses, or saves. ERA is at a high 8.75. He's allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 1 hit, or 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Adrian Sanchez checking on Fukuda at first. Fukuda safe on the attempt. And Jacob McGinnis coming into the plate. First pitch. Ball. Running is Fukuda. He's in there safely. No tag as the ball is dropped by Adrian Russ.
Alrighty, thank you, Andres, as we were trying to get some of these substitutions filled in correctly. So 1 away here, top of the 7th. Grizzly lead it 3-1. 5 hits for them as McGinnis takes outside. McGinnis came in the 5th. He's 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time around. Lefty awaiting. Pitch on the way is in there for a strike. Pitcher on the mound is Adrian Sanchez. He was the shortstop, so he shifted over onto the mound. Now at short, moving over from third base is Kadrian Russ, and Drew Thomas is over at third, who committed the error. 3 balls and a strike to the batter, McGinnis. 1 away here. Coming set is Sanchez, and deals. This ball is hit on the ground towards the second baseman. Over there is Fontana, who makes the play for the out. 2 down here. The runner Fukuda moves up to third on the ground out to the second baseman.
Really up to Nieva to get some breathing room here. So for 3, would like to change that. And then Nieva is again 0 for 3.
Trying to snap out of that drought as he takes ball 1.
Flew out to the shortstop, out on a fielder's choice to the shortstop, and grounded to the third baseman his last time up.
So he's made contact. He's had kind of a rough day in the field. Hits this ball over to third. Drew Thomas, a good play over there. And digging it out over at first is Kuzemka. So some defensive help there for the Lumberjacks. And Brandon Nieva goes down on the ground out. The Grizzlies still lead it 3-1. Last chance here for the Lumberjacks as we go to the bottom half of the 7th.
Welcome back to the California Winter League. Andres Tejeda here with Mitch Glessner. The call, the bottom of the 7th, last chance for the Jacks to make anything happen here. As this one's hit deep into right field, going down the line, way out, and fair ball, and it's a home run! Down the right field line, and that's one way to cut the lead down. It's 3-2. Incredible power from Christopher Baker. He's got a big smile on his face. His team's going to be there to greet him, and that's how you start the comeback, folks. It's 3-2. The crowd giving him a great ovation. My goodness. First pitch of the inning. Now Danny Fontana, who's 0 for 2. We tasked to come in. He hits this one into right field, down the right field line, going into foul territory for a foul ball. An electric start to the inning. Newly entered Takura Fujisawa just came in, and that's not how you want to come in. It'll be the end of the line for Decker. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no earned, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Fujisawa just 1 pitch in, gave up a home run and a foul ball, and now ball 1 on his 3rd pitch. Fujisawa sets, gets his sign, and fires to Fontana. Inside, called a strike. 1-2. On deck is Andres Mendoza. 1-2 count from Fujisawa. Swung on, hit down the line, and foul just to the right side of the right field line.
Alrighty, thank you again, Andres. Trying to update this stat book as we move along. The big fly from Chris Baker. Boy, he put a charge into that one. A no-doubt shot.
Oh,
he knew it right away.
All that we were worried about was if it was fair or foul.
Yeah, had to do Carlton Fisk from the left side. Try to keep it in fair territory. He did. Here's a ball outside to Fontana. So an interesting one now. 3-2 is our score. Home team, the Lumberjacks, they get the last crack at it here in the bottom of the 7th. So nobody out still, too. So we'll see if Fontana can't get a board here. Flares this one over into right, and it is going to drop. So the Lumberjacks have something brewing here. The tying run is at first. The winning run is at the plate. It'll be a new hitter, I believe.
No, it's still Mendoza.
Still Mendoza, excuse me. So Fontana aboard after the single. So Mendoza in this game 1 for 2, a single for him back in the 3rd. The Lumberjacks not done yet in this game, getting some production from their 7, 8, 9 guys. Mendoza at the plate, taking low. Fujisawa came in to enter the game, as Andres mentioned, to take over for Jackson Decker. An impressive game from Decker in this one. He left going 5 innings, 6 innings of work.
Oh no, here it is. An error on the 3rd baseman. And the runners will all move up 1 base.
So an E5, and now things continue to get even more interesting. Runners at 1st and 2nd. Again, though, Jackson Decker, a great performance. 6 innings of work. He allowed 4 hits, 1 extra base hit. Only walked 1, 2 strikeouts. They'll get a courtesy runner, it looks like. That'll be Killian Bloat to run for Mendoza, so they'll add some speed and Bloat. Not sure if they'll count that as a pinch runner or courtesy runner. My guess would be courtesy runner, just due to
The catcher.
lack of amount of catchers, but nonetheless, he's at first. So, winning run is now at first base, and now it is Kadrian Russ. Swinging in, lining down the right field line, over the glove of Cole Rankin, trying to score here, and scoring easily is Fontana. And moving up to second on the throw is Russ, so a big clutch single there as he drives in the tying run in the ball game.
A note here, Rankin was playing in on the end. He's still where he stood. But if he was back where he's supposed to be, that's a line out all day. He's a tall guy. You could put the glove up, probably get the out. Now there's the winning run at third base for the walk-off. And no outs as well.
Real good spot here.
We could have our third walk-off in 4 days.
So now to hit here, it'll be, looks like Drew Thomas. So this is a little interesting now. They're sort of hitting out of order, I believe. It should be Adrian Sanchez to bat, because Sanchez came in to pitch, but neither here nor there. Drew Thomas will be the batter.
The third baseman, number 23,
An opportunity for Drew Thomas. He had an error earlier. Brandon Nieva with that throw into second. That's his third error of the game.
So it'll be up to Drew Thomas. Runners at second and third. Pitch on the way, taken for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Thomas.
Huge opportunity here. The Grizzlies were winning 3-0 all the way into the 3-1 into the 6th inning, and the Jacks have come back to tie it and now have the winning runs on base.
Swing and a miss. Thomas in a 1-1 count. Fujisawa to the plate with the infield in. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls and a strike. He's in a good hitter's count here. See if he can't get something elevated in the zone. Three and one. Fujisawa to the plate. Grounded. McGinnis under the glove, and the Lumberjacks are going to win this one on an error by the second baseman. So that'll do it. The Lumberjacks score 3 in the bottom of the 7th, and they will win. 4-3 is going to be the final, as they get 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th and a thriller late in the game. Tremendous effort from Jackson Decker on the mound, but it's not going to be enough from Decker, as the Grizzlies are going to drop this one. A walk-off win for the Jacks. We've gotten a bunch of walk-off wins as of late, Andres, in our second game of the doubleheader today.
Yeah, so it's going to be some weird wins here. It's going to be Adrian Sanchez, who only won 1 inning, who gets the win. The losing pitcher is going to be Takura Fujisawa, which is a shame because Jackson Decker had one heck of a game. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. The save, or the blown save, is going to go, no blown save, it's just going to be a winner and a loser today. But what a comeback by the Lumberjacks to put 3 runs up in the bottom of the 7th. Absolutely incredible opportunity there.
So that'll do it for Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. The Lumberjacks are going to win this ball game. We'll be back with more action tomorrow when the Grizzlies take on the Palm Springs Power at 10 o'clock Pacific time in the morning. That's going to do it for us here in Palm Springs. 4-3 the final. The Lumberjacks win it on the walk-off thriller We will see you all tomorrow. Join us for more CWL action when we are back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time.